Hi, I'm Susie Mackey, and I am a woman of spirit. Growing up with a very, very low self-worth can lead you into all sorts of challenges and trouble. And I wanted to find a way to help other women know their self-worth, create strong boundaries, and lead a fulfilled and happy, joyful life. So, how did we do this? Many women came to me with stories to share, and that's the ethos and essence of Women of Spirit. We support other women by sharing our stories of challenge over adversity and how we've overcome these, and so other women reading the stories know that they're not alone.
Being widowed really was just about the worst thing that had ever happened to me. I was 48 and I would say up to then I'd been in a very comfortable rut. But being widowed at that age, being left with 3 boys, it was desperate, absolutely desperate. I was on my own. I had to make my own decisions, and you'd lost that one close person who you were so used to discussing things with. So it felt very lonely and took a lot of adjustment, really.
When I was 10 years old, my mother came into my bedroom and she said, "I've got something to tell you." I had no idea what she was going to say, and she said, "Your father's going to die. He's got something called MS." I was just left staring out of the window and trying to make sense of it. My mum's reaction was to turn to drink, and it was 10 years before he actually died. But that was something that affected me on a daily basis. You felt shame, and you didn't want everybody to know what was going on in your family.
All my life, until about 2 years ago, I felt inferior to everyone. I was frightened of teachers. I was frightened of what people would think of me. I would stand in front of my wardrobe full of lovely clothes and be in tears, not knowing what to wear, because I wanted to fit in with everybody else. I didn't know my own worth. I had no sense of my own value. I had fragile boundaries at best, which led me to very unsuitable relationships. I married 3 times, and with each of those marriages, my self-worth spiraled lower and lower. Now, being 61, I'm in the best place ever, and my life's purpose is now to help other women see their value, know their worth, build strong boundaries, develop emotional resistance, become self-empowered, and live life to the full and joyfully, because it feels so good feeling like this, and I don't want other women to wait until they are 61 to feel like this.
Writing my story was hard, and once I started, actually, it surprised me a bit as to how pleased I felt with my thriving head on my shoulders now, looking back at that time and how I lived through it, really.
I guess it gave me a sense of peace and forgiveness towards my mother, who I hadn't really related well to. I'm sure she loved me, but she couldn't cope with me, and I think that's the essence of it. And you have to kind of unravel it and go through the bad times to get to the good.
Women of Spirit has made a real difference. Some of those stories were devastating to read, and yet how that woman has pulled herself out of it. And it wasn't just one, it was time and time again. To read those stories is inspiring, and it is about realising that there is light at the end of the tunnel for everybody.
Adults can, find their own way, but it's the children that I have concern about. Women of Spirit is helping to evolve us as adults, but also it's about the next generation. It's about helping children make better choices rather than thinking, I have to suffer this on my own. It's about exposing, sharing, and building strength through community.
We've published 2 books so far, and there's always many, many more stories to share. In order to reach the women who need our help, we need your support. So please help. Every little is going to make a difference, and thank you so, so much.
I just am looking forward to what it's going to be like in a few years' time when we have more books, more women have shared their stories, and the movement has grown. I mean, how fabulous that will be.